Good morning. I am here getting ready to cold plunge on this brisk morning as the weather drops again this weekend. It is beautiful and sunny, but quite brisk in this water. So, what is the message for today? Thinking about how we show up in the world. What are we giving out? Thinking about our edges. So when we are stepping out of our comfort zone, in order to do that, we have to be willing to go to the edge of who we are and stretch ourselves. And in doing so, it's extremely uncomfortable, like getting in a cold plunge. It's extremely uncomfortable, but if it brings you to the next level, on the other side of it is this invigorating, amazing feeling of growth. And then there's also the edges that we give off, It also we bump up against our own edges. We bump up against our own struggles and how we show up. And sometimes we can be giving off very sharp edges. So to other people, right? We all do this. This is what we do as humans. We are just wrestling through this life in this, it's like a bunch of children running around in these big adult heavy costumes. And so it's learning how to navigate that. We don't realize how we show up sometimes, but sometimes we can be very pointed and very sharp and come across in a way that is makes other people feel bad or makes other people's defenses go up. So it's just really being aware of those edges. When we're bumping up against somebody else's edges, there's a level of discomfort, right? There's a level, but there's also an opportunity for growth. So every time we bump up against one another's edges, it gives us the opportunity to show up a little differently, to recognize that that's what's happening, and to go within and say, how can I shift my response? Because the only thing we can do in this world is respond differently. Life is going to come at us. Life is going to have its ups and downs. It's going to have its obstacles. People are going to be human. They're going to do things that are out of character, that are uncomfortable, that don't feel good at times. The only thing we have control over is how we respond. And we don't always respond the way we would like to. There are a lot of times where we look back and say, hey, I could have done that better, or I wish I did this, or whatever the case may be. But that's what you learn, and that's what keeps humility, and that's what keeps compassion alive. So that's the cool part about being human and having all these obstacles and getting opportunities over and over again, is that it keeps us, if we're open to this and we keep our heart open, it gives us the ability to stay humble, to stay compassionate, to stay empathetic, because that's what this world needs. We don't need hard edges. We don't need sharp edges. And when we are stretching ourselves to our edge, it's doing it with humility. It's doing it with a state of vulnerability, and then getting over to that other side is just this magical, amazing feeling. So edges, that's what we're talking about today, bumping up against our edges, reaching to the edge and looking over and saying, you know what, this is scary and I don't know the next steps, and yes, I feel vulnerable, but it also makes me feel so alive. So what can you do to reach to your edge that you can look over and get that feeling of terrified, but also being pulled to the edge? What's pulling you? Put that in the comments today. And I hope you have an amazing day. I love you.